بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف المرسلين وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين وعلى من تبع هداهم إلى يوم الدين. Indeed, all praises due to Allah, and may peace and blessings be upon His Messenger Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. For tonight, inshallah, is a special session which is to do with the month which is coming as a visitor that comes, and how soon it comes and how soon it goes away. And we are living the first half of the month of Sha'baan, which the Prophet ﷺ used to fast so many days. And the reason behind his fast was because of that his wives, they used to have missed days from the month of Ramadaan. And they would not be able to compensate those days until the following Sha'baan. Being preoccupied with the situation of the Prophet of Allah, he's a prophet, head of the state. So the Prophet of Allah having to travel from one place to another, some of his wives will be with him, they will not be able to compensate those missed days. Sometimes the Prophet of Allah is participating in most of the battles, and that is when some of the wives of the Prophet of Allah will be with him as well in the battles. When the Prophet ﷺ also is having guests and delegates and delegations, the wives of the Prophet of Allah will be busy, and that is why they will not be able to compensate those mistakes. And the only month with the Prophet ﷺ, that is, he will not be having those things that to do, that's when the wives of the Prophet of Allah will be able to compensate those days. Being a good husband, he would fast along with them, because the wife, she knows very well, if she fasts and her husband is not fasting, he will be hesitating to put any burden on his wife to ask her to make food because she's fasting. And she herself will feel uncomfortable being that her husband is not asking her for food. So that is why the Prophet of Allah is fasting along with his wives, just to say to them that I am fasting, so you don't have to worry about me. And another reason, the Prophet ﷺ, he said to Usama that this is the month where the deeds are lifted up. And the lifting of the deeds, it takes place on every Ithnain and every Khamis. But this lifting on the month of Sha'baan, has to be a lifting of a special lifting. A lifting where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will give it extra rewards and extra forgiveness. And that is why the month of Sha'baan also has a night, which is the night of midnight of Sha'baan. The night of midnight of Sha'baan, the night which precedes Al-Arbi'a. I used to say Al-Khamis, but after investigation, I had to looked into the moon sightings of the countries, the Muslim countries, and they happen to be that today is not what it says, the 12th of Sha'baan, but it's actually the 11th of Sha'baan. So tonight is the 12th night. So tomorrow is going to be the 13th, the day after tomorrow, the 14th, the night of the Sha'baan will be preceding, Jum'ah. So tomorrow is Al-Thulatha, then Al-Arbi'a, then Al-Khamis. So the night that is after the day of Khamis, preceding the day of Jum'ah, that is the night of the midnight of Sha'baan, or the night of mid-day of Sha'baan, or mid-Sha'baan. This is the night where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He would descend to the nearest heaven, a descendants which is suitable to His Majesty. We understand what is the meaning of the descendants. And we don't say the descendants of His Rahmah, but actually the descendants of His essence. It's a real descendants. But we cannot describe how is the descendants, and it is suitable to His Majesty. And we don't apply physical laws to His descendants. Meaning, if something descends, He would leave a space. تعالى الله عما يقولون علوا كبيرا. It is not for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to describe him in that way. And this descendants, it takes place also on every night, the last third of the night, of every night. But this descendants, again, just like the lifting up of the deeds in Sha'baan is more than the lifting up of every Ithnain al Khamis, this descendants of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the midnight of mid-Sha'baan is actually extra descendants. So descendants with, on top of it, something. So the descendants of the midnight of Sha'baan is more of honoring than the descendants of every third of every night. And as I said, if you apply the time law, the physical law, the physics law, then you will say that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is down all the time. Because with every second there is a third night somewhere. If you are talking now at the moment, there's a third of the last third of the night in Indonesia. And that third of the night travels because we know that the earth and the sun, all of them rotate. And this rotation within the 24 hours and the rotation of every year, that rotation makes the sun is that traveling from one place to another. So if we have now sun, other countries they don't have one night. So if we apply that every third of the night, or the last third of the night of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala descends, that we say Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is always down. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the creator of those physics laws. And we cannot apply the creation onto the creator. So do not preoccupy your mind with that. You say Allah descends, real descendants, which is suitable to His Majesty. And, just take it. Welcome. And this descendants indicates the honor of that night, because Allah does not need to descend down in order to ask us to forgive us. So it is the honor of the descendants because Allah willed to descend. It's not because He needs to get closer. On every night, during the Sahar, which is the last third of the night before Fajr, Allah descends down and He asks, من يسألني فأعطيه من يدعوني فأستجيب له من يستغفرني فأغفر له. Who asks me, I will forgive him. Who seeks forgiveness, and I will forgive him. Who amongst you would supplement or he would make dua and I will fulfill it. He who amongst you would ask and I will grant him. But, see the microphone is gone straight away. You could feel it. Barakallah fika Faisal. See, I feel it straight away. Subhanallah alladhi la ilaha illa. Jazakallahu khair. Now, so this descendants in the midnight of Sha'baan is different. Allah does not ask. Allah straight away will forgive. And this forgiveness is conditioned. So conditional forgiveness. Condition number one is that the person has to be a Muslim free of shirk. And this shirk, whether it's major or minor, will take him away from those people who will have this forgiveness. So, not a kafir or not a Muslim who's committing major shirk. Can a Muslim commit major shirk? Yes. وَمَا يُؤْمِنُ أَكْثَرُهُمْ بِاللَّهِ إِلَّا وَهُمْ مُشْرِكُونَ. Most of those believers, or most of those mushrikun, they have to believe in order to make shirk. So, they make shirk happen. You'll find some of the Muslims, whether knowingly or ignorantly. If it's knowingly, then they're kuffar. If it's ignorantly, hopefully Allah Azza wa Jalla will excuse them for their ignorance. Asking Jilani, or taking rather the grave of Rifai, slaughtering for those dead people, asking dead people for shifa. All of that major shirk. And as for the minor shirk, hadith bi kulli haraj. Talk and with lots of embarrassment about what the people are doing these days when they do their ibadah. Any ibadah that you associate anyone other than Allah with Allah Azza wa Jalla in your supplication, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will say, go to that one that you have been seeking His pleasure. أنا أغنى شركاء عن الشرك. من عمل عملا أشرك فيه غيري تركته وشركه. I'm the most sufficient, Allah says, from being associated with anyone. He who does associate any deity with me, then I will leave him with his association. I leave him with his shirk. Can be manifested, this type of man of shirk, which is the most thing that Allah's Messenger would fear upon us. It will be manifested in the riyah. Any person who starts any act, ibadah, in terms of salah, zakah, in terms of siyam, any ibadah, he starts it for the sake of riyah, and I would say to you that the siyam, very hard to have riyah into it, unless you do something sinful. Like for example, you hang a tray of food on top of your neck and you say, you see, like I'm not eating. It doesn't happen. But all actions from the ibadahs that can be seen could involve riyah. So this person, if he is now starting his ibadah from the beginning as riyah, if it started from the beginning as riyah, then that ibadah is completely invalid. If he fixes up with inside the ibadah, still it will be invalid, unless the ibadah is separated. Meaning, if you started your prayer from the beginning for riyah, that prayer is invalid even that you have fixed your intention in the first rak'ah or second rak'ah, because you started for riyah. And this prayer, the beginning of it and the end of it is linked together. You cannot separate that. But if that ibadah of yours can be segregated, can be segmented, there's no problem into that. It will not affect the other type of ibadah. For example, if you're paying for sadaqah, so you pulled out from your pocket £50 from the beginning to show off. You gave it to a poor person. That £50 is gone in vain. The second £50 after that, you pulled it, but you did not have any intention for riyah, showing off. Now this ibadah can be segmented. So the £50, the second one, is not attached to the first one, even though it's to do with sadaqah. So that second 50 is accepted, but the first one is not accepted. Whereas in the prayer, if you start from the riyah, it's all of it will be invalid. If the person started his ibadah for the sake of Allah, yet in the middle there was riyah, and that riyah continued him, still that ibadah will be invalid. But if that riyah was expelled and would be removed, then this ibadah is accepted with, of course, a scratch into that ibadah. So, that is why we come back to the person. He needs to make sure that on the night of midnight of Sha'baan, that I have got no shirk, whether it's major or minor. Second, I need to make sure that as well, I settle my disputes with my brothers, so I don't carry any grudge or any malice towards my brothers. If it is to do with dunya-wise, to do with religion, if you are keeping away from someone because he is on a sin, because he is doing bad things in the deen, then you have to ask yourself this question. This boycotting that I'm doing, which is it for the sake of Allah? This boycotting that I'm doing, is it helping the brother to get back to the right path? Because if it is not, then boycott, you're boycotting. You cannot do that boycotting. So boycotting is a medicine to be used in the right time, the right place, with the right quantity, as Imam Ibn Taymiyyah had said. So, if this person is boycotting positively to a person in the deen, no problem to keep that grudge, even in that night of midnight of Sha'baan, but do never deprive that brother from the dua of yours. Always ask Allah Azza wa Jal to put him on the haqq. As if for the person boycotting for dunya-wise, the dunya is worth nothing. So you should say now, I want forgiveness. What should I go and hold this grudge towards anybody? So any person that you did not have any word with him for a long time, text message through WhatsApp would help a lot. Person whom you have a lot of enmity towards him, it's not expected from you to invite him for dinner, because it's impossible. The heart will not be like that. So you start with a salam, maybe WhatsApp message, and after that, that salam will pull a lot of things. Inshallah, bring the as we say in Arabic, the water to its canals, to where it's supposed to be. ترجع المياه إلى مجاريها. So, salam, and inshallah. But some of those people who are like very close relatives, salam is not enough. You need to go to them. Like the boycotting that took place between Aisha Allahu anha and her nephew Abdullah ibn Zubayr, the son of Asma into Abu Bakr. And Asma is the half sister of Aisha. And the reason was behind that is that Abdullah ibn Zubayr, he had heard that Aisha, she had given such and such money or something. So he said, لَأَحْجِرَنَّ عَلَيْهَا. I'm going to be restricting her from spending money. Now he's talking about his maternal aunt, who was much older than him. And also, she had looked after him so much. She was like a second mom for him. Dare he say anything about his maternal aunt? So when she heard what he had said, she said, I'm not going to talk to him whatsoever. She took a decision. Look at that. That love which was in the heart has been removed. So you as a person should really fear that that love in somebody's very close person's heart, it could be one gone, like a father or a mother, because of your actions. Straight away, Abdullah ibn Zubayr realized his mistake. He tried his best to iron things out, to make sure that he's got relationship with his auntie, especially she's the wife of the Prophet of Allah, the mother of the believers. She refused. She refused any mediators, until one day he had got two people who are from the companions, and he asked them, I need to get in touch with my auntie. So they went to Aisha and they asked if they could really speak to her. So she said, who is this? He said Hisham, and the other was Balih. They talked, okay, but he was behind hiding. Soon as she opened the door, but there was a hijab. Every time there's a door, there's behind it was a curtain. They asked her, something, but he, as soon as he went inside the hijab, and of course she's his auntie, and he hugged her. And she's crying, and he's crying. She said, I have made a vow. I'm not going to break my vow. And all these two at the back, behind the curtain, they're really beseeching her, just asking her, please, Aisha, forgive the mother of a believer, please, 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 please. She says, the vow is too much for me to break it. It's my word, come. And she's crying. And then she had what? Settled for that. And now he's back to the love of Aisha of the world. So this is a story just to tell you that is how dangerous you boycott someone who is like a close relative. Imagine it's a mother or a father. Settle your account and remove whatever hatred in your heart and listen to what Allah says, إِنَّ الْمُتَّقِينَ فِي جَنَّاتٍ وَعُيُونٍ. Verily the pious, they are in rivers, jannat, gardens, and springs. أُدْخُلُوهَا بِسَلَامٍ آمِنِينَ. Enter it with peace. آمنين and safe. وَنَزَعْنَا مَا فِي صُدُورِهِمْ مِنْ غِلٍّ إِخْوَانًا عَلَى سُورٍ مُتَقَابِلِينَ. We have removed from their chests, from their hearts, all that ghil. Ghil means grudge, hatred. Then they will be on couches, facing one another. Every person who enters Jannah, he will have no malice, no grudge whatsoever when he enters Jannah. He'll be clean. You're not allowed to enter paradise with something in your heart. You have to get it outside the Jannah. So outside the Jannah, the last thing, which is called the qantara, as some of the scholars said, the little bridge. This little bridge is to settle all these things before you enter. You cannot enter with that grudge in your heart. You can't enter. So you have to shake it out. So you settle your account with those whom you have dispute with. So in this night, which is, as I said, the night preceding Jumu'ah, next Jumu'ah inshallah, we need to be having no grudge in order to have this forgiveness, which the Prophet of Allah, he said, فَيَغْفِرُ لِجَمِيعِ خَلْقِ, Allah will forgive all His creation, except for those who have the shirk, kuffar or Muslim have major or minor shirk. Second one, those people who have a grudge in their hearts or their brothers. And abshir bil khayr, have a glad tidings of good. If you are a person whom you love your brothers, abshir bil khayr. Because the love of the brothers, that means it is actually stemmed, coming from taqwa of Allah Azza wa Jalla. The person who loves the khayr for his brothers, he is a true believer, true mu'min. Because his heart is free from envy, heart free from malice, heart free from enmity, heart free from hatred. He loves to his brother what he loves for himself from the good. He's a good, mashallah, Muslim. As Allah says, وَكُونُوا عِبَادَ اللَّهِ إِخْوَانًا, and be the brothers for the sake of Allah Azza wa Jalla. So, all this deen of Islam came to do what? It's actually to bring this bond between the people. My dear brother, Assalamu alaikum, did you pray 2 rak'ah before you said? You have to pray 2 rak'ah. Yes. It's a masjid. Jazakallahu khayran. So, we need to make sure that we have nothing with other brothers. Please don't put the pride as an obstacle between you and Jannah. Just forget about it. Make a call. Send a message. This is the month of Sha'baan, where the person also needs to know that yes, the Prophet of Allah increased in the fast the month of Sha'baan, but the month of Sha'baan is not the best of the months in terms of fasting after the month of Ramadan. The best of the months is the month of Muharram. Yes, Prophet of Allah, he fasted a lot in the month of Sha'baan, but the Prophet of Allah also, he had said, when Sha'baan comes to the mid, that is the 15th, do not fast. This prohibition of fasting after the 15th is 2 exceptions. Exemption number 1, for those who has a habitual fast. You fast in al-Ithnain, al-Khamis, you fast the day by the following day, you fast the day by the following 2 days, you fast the 3 days of the mid of the month, you carry on no problem. The second exception, an exemption, is those people who has obligatory fast, first missed from the previous year. Those ones, they have to fast before the coming Ramadan. Now why is this? That the Prophet of Allah said, إِذَا انْتَصَفَ شَعْبَانْ فَلَا تَصُومُوا. Prophet of Allah, he wants to make sure that he puts a barrier, a separation between ibadah and ibadah. Because you see, the shaitan comes to the person from different angles. It comes from him as well as a sheikh. Shaitan comes to you as a sheikh, inviting you to more ibadah. And that more ibadah will be lots of it, but none of it is accepted. It's actually infiltrated with bid'ah and innovations. So this shaitan will tell you, okay, well, might as well now. MashaAllah, increase in the fast of Sha'baan. Make Sha'baan with Ramadan, so you fast not 1 month, 2 months. And this happens actually very easily. So you put his gear, MashaAllah, and you all the way, he will carry on and will link it to Ramadan. And that's why the Prophet of Allah, he had emphasized not just not to fast on the 15th of Sha'baan, but he emphasized saying, do not re-enter Ramadan by a day or 2. Do not. لا تسبقوا. And Ammar ibn Yasir, radiyallahu anhu, he understood from the prohibition of the Prophet ﷺ regarding this. He said, "Man sama yawm ash-shakk faqad asa Aba al-Qasim." Look at his understanding of the companion. He who fasts the day of the doubt, then he had disobeyed Abu al-Qasim Muhammad ﷺ. And what is the day of the doubt? This is the day that precedes Ramadan, which is the 30th of Sha'baan. It could be the 1st, or it could be what? The 30th of Sha'baan. Could be the end of the month, or could be the beginning of Ramadan. Why is it that it's a sin to fast on that day, the doubt, because it's easy for those people to say, well, why should we go to sight the moon? Khalas, we'll pick last extra day, there's no need to sight the moon. It's easy to say that. So people start fasting from when? From 29th. So fast. 30th of Sha'baan definitely. And by the way, as I said, tonight is the 12th night, today is the 11th, the Taqweem al-Qura is being made, but when you look at Taqweem al-Qura, and we look what Saudi Arabia announced for the month of Sha'baan, you'll end up saying definitely the first of Ramadan is going to be on As-Sabt. Do you understand that? Definitely is going to be when? Sabt. Definitely. Because the al-Qura calendar cannot be missing 2 days. Cannot have wrong of 2 days. Could have wrong what? Of 1 day. So it was before, that is the first Ramadan according to the al-Qura, it is As-Sabt. So if we have sighted the moon a day before, which makes now the Jum'ah preceding is to be the 30th according to the new cycle. So definitely Sabt is going to be what? Ramadan. It cannot be what? Al-Ahad. It will be 2 days missing. So, but we're going to be cycling the moon anyway. So you have to understand, please, that the person, he has to have a separation between his ibadat, otherwise destruction is upon us. Prophet ﷺ is praying the Maghrib one day. With him Abu Bakr and Umar. The person after the prayer stood up, and after he had finished, the Prophet ﷺ stood up to make the sunnah. Lots of people, they do that. Soon as the Imam finishes, he wants to get on with the sunnah. He's in gear. MashaAllah, autopilot. Umar al-Khattab stretched his hand. He could be, I don't know, he doesn't need to stand up. Umar al-Khattab is big, MashaAllah. Stretch his hand, he just sit down. But the riwayah says he had stood up for him. Umar al-Khattab stands for you, you have to really, shake, tremble. Sit down. For verily, the people of the book were not destroyed except that they did not have any separation between their salah. The people of the book, Christian and Jews, they weren't destroyed except for what? They didn't have any what? Gap. What is the gap he's talking about? Well, the Prophet of Allah, he said, that is to talk, which is the tasbih, which is astaghfirullah, please, astaghfirullah, astaghfirullah, 3 times, Allahumma anta salam, wa minka salam, tabarakta ya dhal jalali wal ikram, and to move a bit. That moving is a slight movement, just inches of right to the left, forward, back, doesn't matter. It's not like what the people they do, they swap automatically sometimes for the sake of, praying. No, it's not a swap, just a bit of movement, that's it. That is the separation, especially the Imam. The Imam has to move. Because if he straight away prayed in the same position, people think he's an Imam, let's continue the prayer. So the Prophet said, لا يصلي الإمام في مجلسه حتى يتحول. The Imam should not pray in his place after he preached until he what? Moves. So this separation also can be seen clearly in the month of Sha'baan and Ramadan. We cannot fast on that day, which is called the dark day. So do not even fast 2 days before Ramadan. And we don't have that today? Of course, adhan inshallah. But I would not really encourage people to have adhan as an adhan. Take it out, just make a tip for you to remind us of adhan. Because now you switched off on the adhan, and that's a humiliation for the adhan. So take it off. It's a program, they're not made to make adhan all the time, please. Coming back, so we have separation between Sha'baan and don't, unless it happens to be a habitual fast. You fast Al-Ithnain al-Khamis, happens to be Al-Khamis or Al-Ithnain is to be the 30th of Sha'baan, which is the day of the Dab. No problem, carry on. Because you're not making here link if it could happen to be. Also, Prophet of Allah, at the end of Ramadan, the following day is, for example, is Eid. Prophet of Allah, he said to start our day after Fajr, before we go to the Musalla, to eat what? Dates, tamarat. The reason behind taking the dates is to what? To break your habit. Because you are in total panic. You're fasting the 30 days, you might carry on fast what? The 8 day. And it's easy to do that. If you did not these tamarat, and you went to the Salat al-Eid, you prayed the Eid, you socialize and lots of things, you forget yourself, and it comes to the Maghrib, oh, you fasted the day. No problem, I'll fast it. It's not allowed to fast the day of Eid. So that is why you start with what? Dates. Never mind after that you stay hungry or not, it's up to you. But you already broke your fast. You broke your habit. And that is why don't take your ibadah as a habit, for verily it is easy to lose that ibadah, and easy as well not to concentrate on what you're saying. And I think that is now. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله. As we have started talking about the person, how can he achieve his maximum from the rewards in this month of Sha'baan, preparing himself for the month of Ramadan. We said the importance of separation between his ibadah in the Sha'baan and the separation of the fast of Ramadan. We as well emphasize the fact that the person should be all the time indulging himself into the remembrance of Allah Azza wa Jalla. And when the person's his deeds have been lifted up to the Allah the Almighty Azza wa Jalla, the person should be in his best of forms of ibadah. And that is why the Prophet of Allah, he said, I like my deeds to be lifted up while I'm fasting. So the person, it is not really right from him to be a person who is praying, coming to the masjid, and yet he is conning people. It is not right from the person to go and give charity, yet he's a thief. It is not good for the person to start to recite Quran while he himself a fornicator. Wal-'iyadhu billah. So abandon the sins, for the sins, it will put you down. It will lower you into the ladder. That is, you're going up to gain the mercy and the love of Allah Azza wa Jal, and that sin will put you down again. So make sure that you are pure when you are making these ibadat, especially in those months of ibadah. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He made these occasions as a booster for the iman. And the person needs a booster, because his iman fluctuates and it goes down. So from His mercy, He gave us those occasions. And if you find any difficulty from the ibadah, then the best thing to make it easy for yourself to do that ibadah is to keep your tongue fresh with the remembrance of Allah. A person came to the Prophet ﷺ, he said, Messenger of Allah, كَثُرَتْ عَلَيَّ شَرَائِعُ الْإِسْلَامِ. I have too many things in Islam to do. So it's either he is saying that I'm doing so many things that I can't do them, or he's saying that it's getting difficult for me to do them. Are there too many, or they're difficult? So tell me something, on Messenger of Allah, hold on to it. If it's not something that I hold on to, it means that I will forget about that ibadah and I keep on to that thing that you're telling me, or something that would make my ibadah easier. Choose one of the two. Interpretation. So he said to him, لا يزال لسانك رطبا بذكر الله. Keep your tongue fresh with the remembrance of Allah. So if you keep your tongue fresh with the remembrance of Allah, the ibadah becomes easier upon you. You will find yourself fasting and you're not having any difficulty whatsoever. You find yourself praying, your qiyam and your prayer, finding no difficulty whatsoever. Because you're keeping to your adhkar. Dhikr Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. From the words like the adhkar, you could say them, Subhanallah bihamdi, 100 times in the morning and in the evening. All his sins will be forgiven. Subhanallah bihamdi, if I count how many minutes it takes me to do that, no more than 3 minutes. If you do them Subhanallah bihamdi 100 times, just in the morning, 100 times in the evening, say that you're a slow person, 5 minutes. Subhanallah bihamdi. Not Subhanallah bihamdi, Subhanallah al-Azim. This is kalimatani, habibatani al-Rahman, خفيفتان في اللسان ثقيلتان في الميزان. سبحان الله بحمده, سبحان الله العظيم. No, I'm talking about سبحان الله بحمده من سوء. تسبيح أخي.
At-tasbih is good for those who are righteous people. At-tasbih, it is good for those who are righteous people. Ibn al-Jawzi rahmatullah was asked, what is the best for the person to do? Is it tasbih or is it istighfar? Ibn al-Jawzi rahmatullah says, well, if the person is indulging into sins, then it's better for him to do more istighfar than tasbih. And if he's a more of a avid person, then it's better for him to increase into tasbih rather than istighfar. And he had based his answer according to what he believes, that the istighfar, he says, like a soap for those who are sinners. So the sinner, imagine that he's like dirty. It's got some dirt. So the istighfar, seeking forgiveness, is like you're actually washing yourself. And as for the tasbih, he says this is the perfume for those who are avid. So you are a person who is pure because you are taqi and you have taqwa. So good for you to have the perfume. So it's not right for the person who's a sinner and has got dirt to put perfume before he washes himself. Well, we say that the Prophet ﷺ, he combined between the two. Messenger of Allah, upon having the following surah, إِذَا جَاءَ نَصْرُ اللَّهِ وَالْفَتْحُ وَرَأَيْتَ النَّاسَ يَدْخُلُونَ فِي دِينِ اللَّهِ أَفْوَاجًا فَسَبِّحْ بِحَمْدِ رَبِّكَ وَاسْتَغْفِرْهُ إِنَّهُ كَانَ تَوَّابًا. As soon as he had this surah revealed to him in Mina, which is about 5 months before he died, 4 months before he died, and it was after the Hajjat al-Wada', he said that Allah Azza wa Jal gave me a surah in which he showed me a sign of his death approaching. And in that sign it says, فَسَبِّحْ بِحَمْدِ رَبِّكَ وَاسْتَغْفِرْ. Glorify the praise of your Lord and seek his forgiveness. So his istighfar was after that the following. He had like upgraded. Subhanallah wa bihamdih, astaghfirullah wa atubu ilayh. That's what he says. Subhanallah wa bihamdih, astaghfirullah wa atubu ilayh. Subhanallah wa bihamdih, astaghfirullah. You combine the tasbih and combining also with it the istighfar. And if the person believes every time he makes this that his ibadah is facilitated, if he believes that every time he says this dhikr is in protection, if he believes that if he says this he is in the best and the closest position with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then he is masha'Allah abshar. You have good. Alhamdulillah. Person entering his house saying Bismillah. Coming out of the house, Bismillah. The word Bismillah. Approaching his wife, Bismillah. Having a cold drink, says Bismillah. And having food, says Bismillah. Everything in the name of Allah. He's secure. You don't have to worry. Abshir. You don't have to worry. For verily Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the Ghaffar. Ibadallah, Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam was asked a question by a Bedouin man. He said to him, Ayyun nasi khayr, which is the best of the people in the sight of Allah? Ayyun nasi khayr inda Allah azza wa jalla. This is a question which sum up and combine all those questions from the companion when they asked the Prophet of Allah, Dullani ala amalin adkhulu bihi al-jannah. Messenger of Allah, tell me one act that will make me to enter paradise. Dullani ala amalin yuba'iduni min al-nar wa yudkhiluni al-jannah. Messenger of Allah, tell me one act that will make me to save myself from the hellfire and make me to enter paradise. Here the man, he had asked actually something which is would combine all of that, and on top of this it will be the best. To be the best in the sight of Allah, not just to enter paradise and to be saved from the hellfire, but the best. So the Prophet ﷺ, he answered him, he said, verily, the best of the people, the sight of Allah, the one who lives long, and the one who has great number of good deeds. So great number of good deeds and long days, long lifespan, then you are the best in the sight of Allah. So many of us understood the hadith in the following way. That is, I've got nothing to do with the age, and all I have to concentrate on is just gaining more rewards. Because the more rewards, I could do it. I could just go and make more salah, more sadaqah, more hajj, more fast, and I would have a big record of good deeds. Well, as for the age, I got nothing to do with it. You're wrong. Both of them, you are responsible for them. And both of them in the hands of Allah. So verily your fate to be a believer or not a believer has been set already. 50,000 before Allah, 50,000 years before Allah created heaven and earth. It's been ordained. So you are doing something which will go and synchronize with what your fate is. So your fate now is already been set, how many years you're going to be living. So the Prophet ﷺ is not telling him that, oh, this is not in your hand, you can't do anything about the age, but you could do about the record. No, both of them is in your hands. Prophet ﷺ, he says, حسن الجوار وحسن الخلق وصلة الأرحام تعمران الديار وتزيدان في الأعمار. Prophet ﷺ, he says, for verily, having good manners, and you having good neighborhood, and you do have, maintain your kinship, and those three will get you. Number one, al-diyar. Tu'ammiran al-diyar. Al-diyar means the land. Tu'ammiran gives prosperity, which means settlement, more money, more wealth, more land, more security, more happiness, all of that in that word. وَتَزِيدَنِ فِي الْأَعْمَارِ, that means it will increase your lifespan. And that's what I want. More property, money and all of that, and also more age. I would say to live more, if I'm right, because to live more and with poverty, you don't like it. Some people would say, no, I don't want to commit suicide because I'm really very poor, I can't really enjoy my life. When you have both. So this is very well. Alhamdulillah, I like that. So let me now go on, have good manners. In the back of my mind, I want to have what? More wealth and more age. Then we go and be good to my neighbors. In the back of my mind, I'm trying to maximize my wealth and at the same time maximize my what? My age. Let me join my kinship. And in each one, you could do better. In husn al-khuluq, so you could really increase now to be good. You're good, mashallah, be good more. Keep a smile onto your face. Some of the people change your mood. Keep smiling. Why is that? Even smiling really makes you relax. It's really good when the people say to you, mashallah, keep always you smile, mashallah. They love you. Always is miserable. They hate you. Some of the people, you hate him straight away. He's miserable. Because his miserable face was all the time frozen. It's like always annoyed, angry. Why are you angry? Why? Subhanallah. So, this person could increase in the khuluq by socializing with the people and by making sure that when he dies, two righteous people, only two, to testify for him. He was a good man, you're in Jannah. Two righteous people, not just two. To testify that you're a good man, not people from the club that used to drink alcohol with. Oh, he was a really good man, he used to be in the pub all the time. No, we don't want that sort of testimony. No. Somebody's good. And another one, to say that you are good. So when you die, oh, we miss him, mashallah, he was a really good person, wallahi, we miss him. You don't want to be like, oh, alhamdulillah, we got rid of him. Allah killed him. Allah killed those people like him. You don't want to be like this. There's some people like that, fortunately, they're Muslims, that you wish for them to die. Because they are corrupted, they are people who you don't like, they are, who will all kill them. So you don't want to be like that. So I could increase in the khuluq, and in order to increase my lifespan, and in order to increase my money. Second one, how's not your? You ask yourself, are you good to your neighbors? Some of the people, they don't know even who their neighbors are. They don't know what nationality they are. They don't know what they look like. They see the cats of theirs more than they see the people. What's this? How many times they took some food and gave it to them? Ask. How many times they took some sweeties and gave to their children? Ask. I'm not saying everybody will accept that. one of the neighbors that was with me before, I have given some sweeties to one of the children. I used to take from these sweeties. But when the grandpa came, the mother, she was okay. He was like one of those, I wouldn't say racist, but he's anti-Islamic. So he said, return it back to him. In front of his daughter, which is the mother. And the daughter, she was not really doing anything, couldn't do anything. So I never gave him, because he thinks that I'm going to be what? Preaching for the boy. But he didn't care. Even he said that, doesn't matter. I was so nice. So if I leave the place, they will say that this person is a good neighbor. Some of those people, they come to you to be your neighbor, you want to move, act. Oh, he's a headache. I don't want to be there. Because you've got children all the time, they are stoning my windows. They're scratching my cars. They're making noise all the night. Do you like to live with, next to students, for example, universities? You don't like that, do you? Because they're all partying with loud sound and music and discos and all of that. Boom, 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 boom. I used to have one of them. Bonfires and things like this. Can't sleep because of these people. You don't want like that as well. Good neighbors. You have a good neighbor? 2 neighbors testify for you that you are, mashallah, you're good. 2 neighbors. And your neighbor is not just the one sticking to your wall, it could be as far as 10 houses this way, 10 houses that way, 10 houses this way. Your neighbors, who is the ones, geographically speaking, the closest people to you. A word can penetrate the heart. Some food, curry, can penetrate the heart. From the stomach, you go to the heart, straight away. Little things. So I could really now learn who is my neighbors. From now on, just for the back of my mind, I want to have more each. I want to live longer. Go on to your neighbors and see who they are. Knock on the door. Prophet certainly said, لا يؤمن أحدكم, لا يؤمن أحدكم, he will not be a believer. Who is that messenger of Allah? The one who sleeps while his neighbor is hungry. Subhanallah. Yes. So, subhanallah, that these people, Prophet said, just increase the pot with water. That's it. You've got soup, just put water. Does it cost you money? Give him some. Alhamdulillah. If he is a non-Muslim, he's got 2 rights upon you. The neighborhood plus the da'wah. If he's a Muslim, he's got 3 rights upon you. Neighborhood and Islam. And also, if he's a relative, the 3rd right, which is being a relative to you. So I've got 3 rights on a person who is related to me, and he's a neighbor, and he's a Muslim. Non-Muslim, one companion was making slaughter. So he said to him, did you give your neighbor? He said, he's a Jew. He said, what? So what? He said, a Jew. And somebody said, a Jew. So what? You give him a Jew. So what is a Jew? It means, what does it mean, Jew? So you can't give him? That's before they took Palestine, by the way. But they betrayed the Prophet ﷺ. But not every single Jew can be taken in charge for whatever other Jews does. وَلَا تَزِرُ وَازِرَةٌ وِزْرَ أُخْرَى. You start with him, with a Jew, you give him. So your neighbors, you give them. It's right. 3rd one, Silatul Arham. Silatul Arham is very important. Silatul Arham is that you maintain your kinship to those relatives of yours. Some of them, they're just a phone call. Some of them you need to go pay a visit. But don't boycott those who are very close to you, like your father and your mother. And to be kind to them, whether they're alive or after their death. How can I honor them when they die? I go to the ones whom they used to be befriending, and I honor them. I will host whom my friends, the fathers of my friends, the friends of my father. I will host. Those are the friends of my mother. So I will come and give them food and send them some slaughter. All of them. Brothers, can you just fill up the gaps? This is a big gap here. This is a shaitan would sit in there. SubhanAllah. Close the gap in it. Right. So we make sure that we join our kinship. Allah ibn Umar He was with his servant. He saw a big man. His name is not even known. He had his camel, and also with his camel, he had his donkey. Because he used to make transfer between the camel and the donkey, to make them relax. As soon as he saw that big man, he gave him his donkey. That's like giving a car to him. Samahak, may Allah forgive you, servant, he said. Bedouins are satisfied with little things. Why are you giving him your donkey? He said, well, the father of this person, he is the friend of my father. Allahu Akbar. Like not just the friend of his father. He's what? He knows the son of the friend of his father. The son of the friend of his father. His father died, passed away. And he said, the Prophet of Allah said, from being nice to your father, from joining the kinship to your father, from being dutiful to your father, is to be good to the ones whom your father used to love. From the way to love your father is to love the ones whom your father used to love. So if your father was alive, he would be happy with you. What? Being nice to those that he was nice with them. SubhanAllah. And how did he know that? He must have been with his father every time he used to visit his friends. He used to see the children, the sons of the friends of his father. He used to be there to help his father when these friends of his come as a guest at his house. Not to leave them alone. That would increase your age. So, تعلموا من أنسابكم ما تصلون به أرحامكم. Listen to me the last thing as well, before I start with Ramadan. That remember the adhkar all the time, especially those adhkar that will protect you. بسم الله الذي لا يضر مع اسمه شيء في الأرض ولا في السماء وهو السميع العليم. 3 times in the morning, 3 times in the evening. If you say it, nothing will touch you. This hadith was narrated by Sha'baan ibn Uthman, great fellow, Hafiz. And Sha'baan ibn Uthman, his father is Uthman ibn Affan. Uthman ibn Affan is a person known, Ashhar min nar ala alam. We call it in Arabic, is really very, very well known. Uthman ibn Affan, the 3rd Khalifa. His son was a great follower. He said, I've heard Uthman ibn Affan, which is his father, saying that he had heard the Prophet ﷺ saying, he who says 3 times, Bismillah alladhi la dhurru ma'a ismihi shay'un fil ardi wa la fis sama'i wa huwa as-sami'ul 'alim. In the name of Allah, the one with his name, nothing will be harmful, whether it's in the heavens or on the earth. 3 times. In the morning and in the evening. Then there is nothing from the things which are the harm will touch him. Now, Sha'baan, when he said that hadith, he said it in front of a group of people. And he had, you know, the face stroke? You know, that's like sort of paralyzed half. So his face like, so his mouth a bit down, his eyes a bit down. And it was not really full, it was not all of it. طرف من فارج, we call it in Arabic فارج. طرف من فارج. So one of those who were listening, looking, and he was looking at him. And Sha'baan, Uthman, being a narrator of hadith and a muhaddith himself, you know, he's clever, he knows what these looks look like, man. What does it mean? He knows from the look what does that person means. So when he said this hadith, and that man is looking at him, but didn't say anything. The man waited until everybody went. When they left, he came to him. So Sha'baan said, I know what you're going to be asking. I know what you're going to be asking. Wallah, he did not lie. Nor Uthman did lie. Nor the Prophet ﷺ lied. Why he kept telling him? Anybody? Why was he looking at him? Because he's like saying that, I'm saying the dua. You say to say that dua, you're not going to be touched by harm, and you got this polarization. So what are you talking about? You've been stuck with the harm, why didn't you say to yourself? Why that dua did not protect you? He said, I know what you're looking at. Wallah, I did not lie. Nor my father lied. Uthman did not lie. nor the Prophet of Allah died. But on that day, I forgot to say it. And the narration came, the reason that he got angry. Don't get angry. If you get angry, you forget lots of things. I got really angry. Not hungry, angry. I got really angry, I forgot to say that dua on that day. And that's why قدر الله لابد أن يمضي. The decree of Allah has to go. And the decree of Allah is to be what? To have this paralyzation, stroke. إذا وقع القدر عمي البصر. If the destiny is to take place, eyes will close. Your basar, everything will close. So if you have to have an accident, even if a good driver, you have to have an accident. It's qadar Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. إذا وقع القدر عمي البصر. It's the qadar of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So I'm not saying that every single person who does good manners, good to his neighbors, good to his kinship, is guaranteed lifespan long one. Do you understand me? It's not, but this is most of the cases. And it's for the non-Muslims the same. He does this, he will get as well long lifespan and a lot of money. But what he doesn't get is the mercy of Allah on the day of resurrection. He will get his reward in this dunya, money, long lifespan, but he's not going to get the mercy of Allah Azza wa Jalla. His reward is in this dunya, because he never said, "Oh Lord, forgive me." He never said that. He does not worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala free of shirk. Then the month of Ramadan, ikhwan. The month of Ramadan, we need to make sure that we are upon the hadi, the guidance of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So we come into it with sighting the moon. Sighting the moon is with the naked eye, and those are called religious facts. And we do not take the calculation of astronomy. For verily, astronomical calculation is good calculation, but it's not going to decide for us the moon, Ramadan, whatever. The end of Ramadan and the beginning of Ramadan is to be cited by a witness. Now the beginning, one witness is enough. Abdullah ibn Umar testified for the Prophet. So the moon, he had made the whole ummah, companions to fast. Even Abdullah ibn Umar, he was 18 years old or 19 years old, just very young. But because it's trustworthy. This witness has to be just. What do you mean just? Adl, prays his 5 daily prayers, he fasts on Ramadan. It's not maybe for a person going to ask a person who is an evildoer or a drunkard person or a fornicator who will testify to see the moon. No, we're not going to take his testimony. No. Testimony for a person who's just adl. And has to be an adult. So this hadith takes out from the general statement of the Prophet of Allah that in shahida adl. For the beginning of Ramadan and the end of Ramadan, you have to have two just witnesses. But because of this incident, we made an exception. That is, one witness for the beginning of Ramadan is enough. But at the end of Ramadan, we don't have an exception, so stays 2 witnesses for sighting the moon of Shawwal of the 8th. This sighting with the naked eye. No telescopes, no airplanes, no spaceships, no calculations, has to be with the naked eye. So we sight on the 29th and the 30th night, because it could be maybe we have miscalculated Sha'baan. And we sight. And the moon, we have said, if you remember, 28 منزل. That is 828 phases, because 29 and 30th, it can't be seen. Moon cannot be seen. So we sight in those last 2 nights where the moon cannot be seen in order to see if the crescent is going to be born. When the crescent is born, and you see it straight away after Maghrib, you will see it. If that crescent is born, then the following day is Ramadan. If that crescent was not born, or it was born but you couldn't see it because of the clouds, then the following day is 30th of Sha'baan. So you could say to me, calculation says the moon is 100% up there. You could say to me that, I have seen with my very big telescope which penetrates the clouds that it is 100% there. I'm not going to listen to that. It's either 30th or the 1st. So I could see with my own eyes. and it's been blocked by obscured by the clouds, then it's tomorrow is the 30th of Sha'baan, the continuation of Sha'baan. Do not take, as I said, and Shaykh al-Albani used to demonstrate with this, religious facts are different from scientific facts. And Islam came to tell us that we are نحن أمة أمية. لا نعرف الكتابة ولا الحساب. We don't know the writing, not a scribe we are. This is the original ummah. We don't know the calculation. For us, the month is either 30 or 29 days. That's it. 30 or 29 days. So we cite the moon for the month of Ramadan. So it is incumbent of the Ummah Islamiyah to set and dispatch a group of people to cite the moon. Now, if the calculation had said the moon is impossible to be born this night, so tomorrow it must be the 30th of Sha'baan, and we have dispatched lots of witnesses to go and see for that moon, and none of them came up with a conclusion except for one or two, maybe the judge will not accept their testimony, because he sent lots of them, and there's only two came back, and the calculation says it's impossible, then this calculation would help. But if lots of them came back and said, we saw the moon, forget about the calculation. Right. Shaykh al-Albani says an example of these scientific facts and with the religious facts. He says, for us, a person who dies religiously, religious facts is that his heart to stop. So either we listen to his heart or see his bumps, heart pumps. If it is there, he's alive. If it's not there, then he's dead. Now, you know for a fact that, scientifically speaking, there are people whom their hearts are pumping, but yet they call him what? Dead, because their brain is what? You should call it coma, isn't it? So this coma is in stages. There's coma which is full brain damage. Al-Mukhayk. They say it's khalas. He's dead. No. For Islam, no, he's not dead. You can't bury him. Okay, he's on machines. Can I remove the machines? Well, if he was dead from the beginning, why did you put the machines anyway? You shouldn't have put the machines. But if the machines were there, and he put them, and a committee of doctors, they said that those machines are not helping him, they're just making the heart to bump, then take the machines, but don't bury him until the what? The heart stops. Then you bury him. So scientifically speaking, he's dead, but religiously he's not dead. حقائق الشرعية تختلف عن الحقائق العلمية. Second example, Shaykh, he says that on the sunrise and on the sunset, scientifically there's a philosophy says that if the person is looking at the sun when it is rising, when he sees the sun rising, when he sees the sun, it's not that sun. It's actually the reflection of the sun. The sun's still behind the mountain. It's behind the horizon. Scientifically. And when it sets, okay, so the sun, when it sets, and you're seeing the sun itself, at the end, the sun disk is there. They say that you're not seeing the sun, you're seeing the reflection of the light. The sun is already behind the mountain. So now somebody who is in the Fajr, sun is rising. My dear brother, get up and do the Fajr. He said, no brother, still, the sun is not there. What you see is a reflection. It's still behind the mountain. Now, subhanallah. No brother, the sun is, no, scientifically speaking, it is not there. What do you see? The reflection. Look at this. Now the person now, in the month of Ramadan, he's been seen eating about 20-15 minutes before the sunset. Brother, the sun hasn't set yet. How can you eat? He said, no, brother, the sun is behind the mountain. What you see is a reflection of the light. Look at what damage he had done. Because this philosophy. I'm talking about my eyes. I can see the sun, I can't see the sun, and that's it. So don't manipulate with this. Religious facts are well known. And it goes on for lots of things. So we cite the moon. And when we start Ramadan, we make an intention. This intention to be on the safe side every night. After sunset, you know that you're going to be fasting the following day. Some of the scholars said one intention for the whole of the month. But to be on the safe side, make sure that you make it for every night. Now to make it with every night will help you. Okay, for those who do not know about the pre-dawn meal, take pre-dawn meal. Sahur. Sihri, called it noodle. This pre-dawn meal has number of things. Benefit number one, Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said, it's a blessed meal. Halummu ila al-ghidha'i mubarak. Come to the blessed food. Mubarak. Okay, maybe a boy, maybe you forgot to put your ringer off, but we encourage you to change that ringer to something else. And it's important in the house of Allah not to have such rings like this. So music, maybe he didn't know. Here, I remember some people, I told them, an old man, he said, I don't know how to change it, Sheikh. I don't know how to change it. So some of the people have to change it for him. He's an old man, he doesn't know. So maybe as well. So we say, please change. I could forget my ring. But if it rings normal, no problem, you forget. But when it comes, ding, ding, dun, ding, ding, and dan, 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 house of Allah. When I turn it to what? Nightclub? How? So the house of Allah respect. Jazakallah khairan. Anyway, I know that you didn't mean it. So it is a blessed food. Number two. That is, Prophet ﷺ said, the angels invoke forgiveness for those who eat such a meal. Number three. That is, Prophet ﷺ, he said, take it even if it means a gulp of water. Number four, he says, the difference between us and the people of the book and their fast is the pre-dawn meal. And the Prophet of Allah, he commanded us not just not to emulate the kuffar, but also he said to be different. Give you an example. The beard, the hair, they go grey because of old age or because of worries. It doesn't distinguish this grey hair between a Muslim and a non-Muslim. Yeah, the Prophet always said, dye your beard, dye your hair, and be different from the Christian and the Jews. So this is not just prohibition of imitation, but also command to be different. The fifth thing said, فَلَا تَدَعُوا. Don't leave it. Don't leave your pre-dawn meal. And that's why our Shaykh Al-Albani says it's compulsory to have the pre-dawn meal. And I'll add number 6. That is the intention in the package. Once you do your sahur, your intention is done. Shaykh Al-Albani was asked, if a person, he just eats he had eaten his iftar, breaking of the fast, and he slept, and he normally doesn't do his sahur, and he woke up. What happened to his fast? It's not accepted, he said. Because it's his habit. He doesn't make intention. It's not accepted. So be careful. Especially those who break their fast because of illness or journey or whatever, menses or whatever, they have to renew that intention. Even with those scholars who say one intention is enough, you have to renew that intention. Very important. So my intention could be along with my breaking of the fast, but definitely it's with my sahur as well. Sahur, just like you're keen to make the fast, make keen as well to make the sahur. And you could add to number 7, well, making sure many months you're suffering because it's a long day. Long day. Have a food, better. At least you have stomach which has got some food, better than have an empty stomach. Now coming to the other issue, which is that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had made this fast upon us in order for us to increase the taqwa. يا أيها الذين آمنوا كتب عليكم الصيام كما كتب على الذين من قبلكم لعلكم تتقون. This fast was made obligatory upon us. Why? So that it may attain taqwa. Why was it made in Ramadan? Because it's the month of Quran. شهر رمضان الذي أنزل فيه القرآن هدى للناس وبينات من الهدى والفرقان فمن شهد منكم الشهر فليصم. خلاص. Ramadan, because the month of Quran, it is a must upon us to fast that month. The month of Quran was revealed into two phases. Phase number one go. Preserved tablet up to the house of honor. The house of honor, which is Baytul Izzah. From there, Jibreel alayhi salam, along 23 years, to take the Quran to the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And that night, which the Quran was revealed or sent down, is called the night of Al-Qadr. إِنَّا أَنزَلْنَاهُ فِي لَيْلَةٍ مُبَارَكَةٍ. إِنَّا أَنزَلْنَاهُ فِي لَيْلَةٍ الْقَدْرِ. So we have sent it in a blessed night. We have sent it in the night of Al-Qadr. وما أدراك ما ليلة القدر ليلة القدر خير من ألف شهر تنزل الملائكة والروح فيها بإذن ربهم من كل أمر سلام هي حتى مطلع الفجر. This is the night of Al-Qadr where the Quran was revealed from the preserved tablet to that is the house of honor, Bayt al-Izzah, the house of power. The second phase of revelation was from that house of power to the Prophet ﷺ according to the occasions. So Allah's permission to Jibreel to take this verse to the Prophet, that verse to the Prophet, this verse, this surah to the Prophet. And the first ayat, the first 5 verses from Surah Al-Alaq were revealed in the month of Ramadan as well. In one of the nights of Al-Qadr. In the 24th or 25th night, according to the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ. نزل القرآن في, and then he said, ليلة الرابع والعشرين. And that is the Torah, the Injil, the Zabur, and the Quran, all of them were revealed in the month of Ramadan. Torah in the beginning, Injil in the middle, and the Zabur at the end, just before the 10 days, the 18th night, and the Quran, the last one, in the last 10 nights. So, اقرأ باسم ربك الذي خلق خلق الإنسان من علق اقرأ وربك الأكرم الذي علم بالقلم علم الإنسان ما لم يعلم. The first 5 verses were revealed in the cave of Hira when the Prophet was meditating, and he had those verses revealed. We believe in the month of Ramadan. So that is why it is compulsory upon us to fast the days that Allah Azza wa Jalla had made for us in the month of Ramadan. But in that ayah, يا أيها الذين آمنوا, O you who believe, كتب عليكم الصيام. The way it is being written in Arabic, and I can't really say it in English properly, regardless of the translation. This ayah is like a person who is begging his workers, please work. And yet he is capable of saying, you must work, otherwise you'll be kicked out. I'm just giving an example. وَلِلَّهِ الْمَثَلُ الْأَعْلَى. For verily, Allah is saying, O you who believe, fasting was ordained upon you, made obligatory upon you. And Allah could have just said, not all you who believe, O people, fast. Fast is obligatory. No. He said, كُتِبَ عَلَيْكُمُ الصِّيَامُ. It was being ordained on you. يَا أَيُّهَا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا. O you who believe, the one who believed in Allah to be his Lord, and Muhammad to be his Prophet. You believed in his Quran to be his book. Oh, you believe. Very sweet call. And when Allah says, Ya ayyuha alladhina amanu, pay attention. For whether it's either good he's enjoining or evil is prohibited. As some of the Salafi have said. Abdullah ibn Mas'ud, he said that. Bar'ihi sam'ak. Then he says, كَمَا كُتِبَ عَلَى الَّذِينَ مِنْ قَبْلِكُمْ. Just like it was made obligatory upon those who were before you. Those before us, they had the fast, but even harder than us. The fast before the revelation of the verse of Surah Al-Baqarah, and that is talking about the Siyam. أُحِلَّ لَكُمْ لَيْلَةَ الصِّيَامِ الرَّفَثُ إِلَى نِسَائِكُمْ. Before the revelation of that verse, Qais ibn Sirma, in the hadith which is authentic, he tells us how the fast was. He was fasting one day, And when the sunset comes, the person has to be awake and eating at that time. If he misses that time, he cannot break his fast until the following day. Again, he has to be awake during what? Breaking the fast. So he cannot, for example, if he was asleep or he did not eat during that time when the sun had set, he cannot eat during the midnight. He cannot. So one day he came and he was tired of working. Came to his wife, food. She said, we haven't got any. Poor. Let me go and see the neighbors. So she went to see the neighbors to get some food. She got back and he was asleep, dead asleep. Now she's not allowed to wake him up. If she wakes him up, خلاص, he slept through the time of the what? The sunset. She said, خيبة لك, what a loser you are. You missed the food. So now, you already fasted almost, you could say 15 hours from the Fajr. And then he's going to continue to the following Fajr. That is what? 24 hours. Then after that day, it's going to start, it hasn't eaten yet. So that's about 35 hours. In the midday of the following day, he collapses. He couldn't go on. 35 hours. No food, no drink. So, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed the verse that is, ثُمَّ أَتِمُّ الصِّيَامَ إِلَى اللَّيْلِ. The fast is only what? To what? To the night. And after that, no problem. فَالْآنَ بَشِرُهُمْ أَبْتَغُوا مَا كَتَبَ اللَّهُ لَكُمْ. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made it for us permissible. أُحِلَّ لَكُمْ لَيْلَةَ الصِّيَامِ الرَّفَثُ إِلَى نِسَائِكُمْ. So Allah made it for us, alhamdulillah, during the night to eat, regardless whether awake in the sunset or not. And it is not recommended for the person to stay fasting until all the way. It's not recommended. You break your fast as quickly as possible. But if you had to stay hungry because of some reason, فَمِنْ وَضَحٍ إِلَى وَضَحٍ. Prophet said, from wadah ila wadah, from fajr to fajr. You cannot join the day with the day. You have to have a separation. Remember? A separation. You have to have a separation. So you eat. From wadah ila wadah. From pre-dawn meal to pre-dawn meal. But the recommended act is to what? To eat when the sun sets. What time is it? 27? 47. 4 minutes. For you, please make sure that you do your breaking of the fast as early as possible. You make your pre-dawn meal as late as possible. Which is more important? The fast to stop eating or to pray the Fajr? Which is more important? Praying the Fajr. Why? Listen to me. If the person, he is to fast the day and he has now up to the Fajr to eat, he is now should know for the fact al-asl baqa'ul layl. The fact that the night is still there. So you could eat and eat until you see the what? The Fajr. So if you kept eating after the Fajr without you knowing, and then you realize, oh, Fajr is already on, and you stop, can you continue the day and the day is accepted for you or not? I'm asking. Yes or not? Because al-asl baqa'ul layl. You thought it was, after already, I didn't know it was Fajr, so no problem. But look at the Fajr now. The Fajr, you cannot pray it until the Fajr is on. So, somehow you thought, oh, the Fajr is on. And you prayed 1 minute before the Fajr. And then you realized, oh, I started my prayer before Fajr. Is your Fajr accepted? No. Look at that. Fajr is not accepted, but the fast what? Because for the Fajr prayer, al-asl baqa'ul layl, you cannot pray until you have certainty is what? Fajr is on. You cannot stop food until you have certainty what? That Fajr is on. That's the difference. And that's why Abdullah ibn Umar used to have 2 servants. One looking this side and one looking that side. And he was eating. Do you see the Fajr? He says, yes, I see the Fajr. He will not be convinced on the other one. Do you see the Fajr? No, I don't see the Fajr. He keeps eating. And do you see the Fajr? Yeah, I told you, you see the Fajr. Do you see the Fajr? Yes, I see the Fajr. Now he stops. So, كل ما شككت حتى لا تشك. Listen to this principle. Eat as long as you are in doubt. That is, the Fajr is not on until you have no doubt the Fajr is what? On. But in terms of the prayer, you cannot pray until you are sure that the Fajr is on. And this hadith is in Sunan Abi Dawood, 1 minute, where the Prophet ﷺ, after the adhan of the Fajr, the second adhan, the adhan of the Fajr, because Bilal wants you to make the adhan of the Fajr, the second one. So he made the adhan of the Fajr. And the Prophet of Allah asked the king, fine, come to food. So Messenger of Allah, he just made the adhan. He said, don't pay attention. For verily, inna fi aynihi su. Verily, he's got something wrong with his eyes. That means he couldn't see the Fajr properly. So he had eaten. The Prophet ﷺ, after the adhan of whom? Bilal. And that is why later on, Prophet of Allah, he made Bilal to step down from that adhan to make the adhan which has got no importance. That is to wake up the people. And the adhan which is the people has to stop eating and to start the Fajr prayer is for somebody who is blind. Ibn Maktoum, whether his name is Abdullah or Amr, for somebody who is blind to make, and he had appointed for him as well, people to say to him, Fajr is on. وسبحانك اللهم بحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك.